Skibbity boo bop boo. Oh, that's right. Welcome back to Karandrin. My name is Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Cracked Palantir, and I will be your host and game master for this episode 78 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play the Paladin Brise. Say hello to the lovely people.
Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. Thanks for adjusting to our schedule change this week, but we assure you it will not impact the content at all.
That's right.
It's the same.
Yes. So here we are at episode 78. We have a few irons in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
You are making your first stab at investigating the headquarters of a cult in the goblin town of Balabry. And last episode, your first sort of tentative attempts to get the lay of the land of this wealthy estate in town where they're believed to have meetings, where the cult is believed to have meetings, didn't go as planned. Remind our viewers what happened.
Well, Anlib, the winemaker, has some very attentive guards, it seems. I kind of just started scoping out the house. She said it was kind of a two-story house with a side garden, sizable home. And went down an alleyway to try to kind of loop around back and do some detect magic, and ended up being stopped by one of Anleb's guards, who saw through pretty quickly what I was trying to do here. Definitely caught me as a spy. Luckily, she herself, the guard, seemed what's the word? Seemed to have the same opinion of me of what was going on with Anleb and the cult is definitely bad business. And with some persuasion, she's hopefully willing to help me by sending me some info to the Everwell in Balabry here. So I've made my way to the Everwell, and we'll see, hopefully, if this guard, when she gets off duty, first, I hope I didn't get her in trouble. And secondly,
Oh no, we've lost Max. Oh no, we do have storms in the area, and so it may be a matter of him experiencing a power outage. We had a flicker here just a minute ago. Um, oh no, I have to bring him back. He's gone. Oh no,
ah,
he is.
I was
Let
caught
me.
by the cult. They
Did
created
you
this.
have a power outage?
No, everything was fine. It said I was 10 out of 10 network too. So,
You showed up red over here on my meter. You showed up as,
well,
and we had a flicker of power here just before you disappeared. Um,
wonder.
Midnight Dawn has joined us and has said that Breach died. That's just what happened. Is that
After 78 episodes, just a small internet outage.
that's right. That's right. Midnight Dawn says you're sexy when you freeze.
I don't know if she's talking about you or me, because you freeze.
That's right. Okay. So you were saying you were hoping you didn't get the guard, the female goblin guard at the estate in trouble. Was the
Right.
last thing we heard. So please continue.
Right, and didn't get her in trouble, and hope she cooperates and actually has some information to send to me at the Everwell. So
And she did pass you information. Um,
yes, she told me that what am I asked discreetly about Brashla, name Brashla. I was told by her. So we have a name to investigate, but yeah, we need to do so carefully. So
which does beg the question: are you going to ask around here at the
um,
Everwell?
yes, actually, that would be a good idea. Hello, Midnight Dawn. having a conversation here. All right. So yeah, I'm at the Everwell. Actually, might be a better place to ask around at the Adventurers Guild.
It
Um,
depends. Like, I mean, right now, the person who's sort of hosting the cult meetings, you believe, is just a local, a
right.
prominent
Right.
local.
True. So if these are people local to the town, the inn might be a better
Right.
place. So okay. So walk into the inn here, and we already got a
Yeah,
room.
you're sitting. You've already eaten, in fact, and so
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So what who is around in the common area here?
there seem to be um, a whole range of types, including including merchants and so on, who are taking a break from their shop and letting their shop boys and girls just run the place while they enjoy a pint. It's mid afternoon. That's not particularly surprising. Um, so
Mhm.
that's one approach. Of course, any of the bar staff is another approach. People who have a lot of contact with people coming in and out. Um, so um, adventurer wise, no adventurers, although we said they're not of interest. They're clearly some merchants from off the road. Unless they deal directly with Brashlow, they seem to be not the best lead.
Right.
Um,
Well, might ask just the innkeep themselves if they're not busy. If they know of anyone by that name. Um, Now, I do want to be careful. I want to be discreet. I have a very recognizable face, so I'm wondering if it might be wise to take a potion of face change. Leave, take a potion, and then come back so I can ask some information.
well, keep in mind that your clothes will be the same.
Right,
So you might, leave, take off your cloak, just
right,
ball it up, stick it in a bag, come in and, order a drink at the bar and, with your face having changed. And then, um, you know, if you loosen up your shirt, it's possible you could change to a male, elf face.
right, right.
Um, um, So, I mean, there are neighbors you can think of, elves that are in your memory that would be clear
Yeah,
enough to try to do, or you
yeah,
could stick to doing your best friend's face we talked
right.
about last session. Um, so, whatever you feel like doing there, but
Yeah, how many? I just need to make sure how many of these I have because I would like to. It might be wiser to save it for I have two of them. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, let's. I have two potions, right? So I'll after having a meal, I'll get up and take my leave, go outside, and then kind of like we said, take off my cloak, loosen my shirt a bit, and then try to. We'll drink a potion and picture one of my childhood friends,
female or male?
female.
Okay,
I just don't need to loosen my shirt. Then I'll just have
right.
same
Um,
underclothes.
this is your first time drinking one, right?
I've had it before. Yeah.
You've had it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel it affect your face. You can tell your features are different. You can tell it's changed your voice somewhat just because of the
Mhm.
shape of your mouth. And you head back in. Um, saddle up to the bar and ask for a beer or whatever, two
Right.
copper so throw down 2 copper for a beer and
Ooh, God, here.
and what do you want to say and in what language do you want to say it?
What's the is innkeeper goblin?
Well, the whole, it's a Goblin Nation. If you're here, you better speak Goblin if you're running a business.
Right, that's true. That makes sense. So I'll say in Goblin, wondering if you could help me. I'm trying to find someone in town by the name of Brashla.
He looks worried and says, "I hope you've not been told to ask for work, miss." He leans in. He's just. I'd rather you see you working at a place like this than at one of his brothels. Is all.
Um, I see. So I say it's not anything to do with that. It's business I have with him personally. I just need to um, find out where he is in town.
Well, he has a high-end establishment off the eastern square. He gives you directions to it. He says, "But if you don't want to be seen near a place like that, and I couldn't blame you if you wanted to avoid it, then he keeps a really nice estate on the edge of town.
Mm.
You probably passed it on the way in if you came from the Vetch side of things.
Mm.
It's on the west side of town, and he gives you directions to that."
Okay.
But he's not folk to be trusted.
I
So
say
get your money up front, huh?
right, right. It seems that way. I've been trying to, tell him I've been trying to track him for a while. Um,
Well, if he owes you something, I wouldn't go alone. You
point.
can probably hire a sword or two. You keep checking these pubs and taverns, you might find somebody you can pay to use their sword to make your point. There's some adventuring guilds in town too, one at least.
I say how. Well, I guess if he has a state, Brashel's been here for a while. Um,
I mean,
how,
he could be nouveau riche, but
yeah. So I mean, I will say, has Brashla, been in Balladry for a long time? Has he had a lot of influence here?
many of the well-to-dos, particularly like his upscale establishment, he's been here well as long as I know.
I I say, I'll just bring up, I had heard rumor that he was involved in some um, unsavory, well, more than unsavory than he already is.
Dark?
Some dark, dark matters might have been. Um, I don't know what the right way to word that. Might have been, yeah, might have been involved in some dark circles.
He leans in again and he says, "There have been whispers of him meeting folk that normally wouldn't see him, I grant you that. But, some rumors are earned and some aren't. I don't know which one this is."
Okay, so people whisper that he meets certain folk. Um, well, even if they aren't founded, I'd like to hear them. Do you know what type of people he might have been in league with?
where her ladyship's tax collector, Lord Gan, used to be dead set opposed to him, but now they seem to be meeting quite regular late at night, according to a stable boy that comes in here. The winemaker, one of the best in town. I do business with her. I thought she was good folk and would steer clear of him, but they've been seen together,
Mm.
if the chef's to be believed.
Okay. Tax collector.
He's
You know,
clearly watching the volume of his voice. He's clearly looking
right,
around.
right. Um, and I'll say, yeah, I've heard of Anlib, but she's, she seems. I've heard her is also a very prominent, figure in town as well.
The family's been in the wine trade 4 generations here.
Mm.
I mean, she's a bit of an airhead, but I wouldn't think she would get tangled up with whatever side of the world that fool digs in.
Mm.
But look, people have been hurt by Brashla, taking a bit too many liberties with his girls or owing him money.
Mm-hmm.
Constables look the other way. I'd tread careful if I were you.
I wonder if I could. So I want to ask if Brashla maybe employs like magic, like any wizards. I wonder if
It's going to be,
tough. Yeah, like
I
how to
don't know
say.
how you're going to get a barkeep to even understand a
Right,
question
exactly.
without freaking out.
Right. So I might just have to leave it at that then. Anything else I can ask him? So we know where his estate is. Some people have been involved with.
You could show him your floating hand trick. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I cast levitate on my hand. Ooh,
Isn't
look at
that weird? How does he do that? Okay.
that. Okay, I thank him then, and I'll give him a couple. Toss him a bronze.
A bronze. Risking his life. You're giving him a bronze.
Risking his life. Fine, I'll give him. I'll give him a silver.
Jesus. A
Make
cheap,
him
cheap
worthy.
whore. We just keep upping it. 6 mithril. That's all you're giving him?
What? Just pressure me into. And how much? This is important information. How much would a whore theoretically cost? In good.
You know,
2
we
copper, 1 mithril.
we're working on letting Quinn play some, right? We're not going to stream it, but we're going to play. And his nation that he's playing in, they really believe in slavery, and so we had the unsavory task of going through and pricing slaves.
Oh
It
yeah.
was not a. It was not my proudest moment, but I mean, I feel like it's important to the story, and so
Right. Sooner or later, he would come across a social situation.
right. So the answer is 30 to 300 gold.
Mm,
So
wow.
that's
Is
very.
that by any chance is that nation called the South?
Oh, that's right. It's called Suzar, actually.
Suzar.
Is my shirt flashing? So
It
weird.
is.
That's
For
weird.
sure. Yeah.
I
That is
don't know
very
what the deal is
peculiar.
there. I wonder if I can bump up the lighting and maybe that'll.
Strange magic going on in the stream.
I know.
Yeah, so I give him a silver, thank him again, and a big help. And, probably get out of there before my
Potion
potion runs
expires.
out. Yeah. So interesting. He called Anlev a bit of an airhead. That's funny. I wonder how much is true or not.
All right. So, um,
So again, the person might come. What was the guard? I don't think I got her name. If I did,
no, I don't think you did.
guardswoman might come by to leave a note or leave some information. So, what time of day is it? I think it came in
It's
the
mid afternoon.
mid afternoon. Okay. Um, I don't think I had any other commitments today, so I don't mind just kind of spending the rest of the day at the inn, right? As Brise, once the push
Right.
comes off, and we'll just
So
do
yeah.
some reading and relaxing and see if anyone brings any information to me.
So yeah, evening falls. You sort of just pass an enjoyable evening. You're hit on by a few guys, and mostly goblins, and you sort of give as good as you get, and get earn their respect, and move them on. Right, the goblins are very
Luckily, with goblins, yeah, you don't have to be polite. You could just kind of
right, and as long as you're witty, right,
exactly.
that's they
And
really value wit. My God, am I a goblin? Anyway, they um, so we call a well hung goblin a knob goblin. Anyway, so
well endowed goblin.
um, you are, huh? I don't know who would be approaching you. Hmm. An adventurer approaches you late afternoon. Um, it's a female human, um, with long brown hair. Um, she's been sort of just making the rounds table to table, having a good time. You've just sort of been enjoying the fact that, she's just been keeping the place laughing.
Mhm.
Like wherever the laughter's coming from, that's where she is.
Yeah,
Um, and she she comes to you and says, "I'm making the rounds, as you can see. I'm just stopping by every table. I'm looking for information. I'm wondering if I can buy you a drink and ask you a few questions." She seems just extraordinarily.
yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, I like good drink and some adventurer talk. Let's do it.
Um, she's not armed, but she does still have on a chain shirt. So she sits down, orders you another ale. Um, she says, "I'm asking around for me and some friends. We're trying to find information on the Ivory Falls. If you've ever heard of such a place, it's supposed to be a set of waterfalls with two great white stones that jut up like tusks. It's supposed to be in a valley, I don't know, 2 or 3 days from here, within that radius. You ever hear of such?" The answer is no.
Say no and just ask what kind of treasure you're looking for there.
Well, it's more the container for treasure,
Hmm.
if you consider a floating city a container.
Ah, interesting.
Supposedly, the floating city of Apria had its mechanisms, its engines that drive it skyward, built near the Ivory Falls.
Interesting.
And supposedly, a copy of the controls is there, and we could bring the city to us.
Aphia has its mechanism for.
So
Interesting. I know I've heard of a floating city before.
temple, in fact.
Floating temple. Double check the notes here. It's called the Cloud Temple. I'll tell them. I have heard of a cloud temple that floats in the sky, but I've only come across in notes, and the last sighting of which was 85 years ago. So if they are the same thing, then. But I wonder if they are suspended by the same technology. That's interesting to think of.
It certainly seems likely.
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn anything more?
No, I did not. Well, I do say that just to be helpful here, the adventurer noted that it never seems to appear in the same place at once. This cloud temple. So if it's true, if you're searching for Aphia after finding the mechanism, maybe it's similar. It drifts on its own kind of chaotic pattern. Apria.
Our understanding is that this one floats in a cycle, so that the merchants of the city could reliably predict where their wares might be replenished or be offered to sale with some reliability. But it's all legends and tales thus far. It certainly is curious that you would come across a note about a cloud tower, a cloud temple, I should say. I assume relatively nearby. If you're here,
Yes, I found the notes in mountains just out of town here. So
it's possible that the Ivory Falls are near, and they were known for this ability to produce. So maybe they had more customers for this remarkable ability.
it's interesting to think about. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your help. And she stands and just laughs and puts 5 gold on the table for you, slaps your arm, and walks off. And you hear her talking directly to the next table. She's just, can I sit down with you? She's just on and asking, Oh, my Lord. We've lost him again? Like, how is that possible? Look at how well frozen he is. Oh, my God. This is the last time I'm never playing with him again.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. It's the
That
second
time
time.
I had no indication you were gone.
Yeah, you said she gets up, slaps gold on the table, and then and then I was gone.
Yeah, so she moves on to the next table and immediately, hey, can I sit down with you and share a drink? I've got some questions to ask, and she's just affable and friendly and very open. And
Oh,
so,
well, yeah. I hope she finds her. I hope she's not an evil empress, and I hope she finds her tower or finds her Ivory Falls. So, um, all right. And so, other than that, though, no other interactions until evening.
no.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
I'm
comes on
flaky
late.
like a buttery croissant. That's what I
Obi-Wan reminded me that Jason's Deli does a club, an American club on croissant, and I love a croissant club. Oh my Lord,
Yeah.
I am in trouble around those. I can't be trusted.
Take 2. No, 3. No, give me 6.
Are wheelbarrows allowed in the restaurant? Is what I'm asking.
All right. So yeah,
So,
I brought my horse into town, so I'll saddle up and head back to the keep. It sounds
well, I
like.
mean, you bought a room here. Why not stay
Oh yeah,
here?
no, why not? Yeah, I guess we could stay here. I don't think I had any plans to keep, so yeah, okay.
And you bought 3 days, 3 nights worth of rooms here.
Right, right. So we'll just stay then. Go up to my room and retire for the evening, and then tomorrow we'll probably go looking for some. What was it?
Eagles?
Investigating the. Sorry,
Eagles? Are you going to go find the Eagles?
the Eagles. Well, actually, that's a good point. I asked Fraldrum about having an audience with the Eagles, but I think we'll check with her first, and then if she didn't get back, then I can go try to find them myself. So that's a
Well, it
good.
won't really matter if you were to stay in town or and wave them down, right, and have a communication with them, then you can return and tell Mia Graw that you know it'll get back to the right people that the meeting has been made.
Well, I suppose, right? But I was just wondering if Fraldrum has a way of contacting them that I don't know of,
Right.
right? I know she's talked with Korokal before, so that's what I was thinking of doing.
And you can also just run a message up to
The
the
keep, yeah,
keep.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that then. In the morning, that is, if I make it there.
That's right. So all right. So
Karandrin.
make your 3 rolls.
Boom. 74,
Wake up mid morning, so a little late.
58,
Feeling better, and dreams.
49.
No dreams to speak of.
Very average rolls. I like it. Okay.
All righty.
We'll go into the common room then. Gear up in adventuring gear.
Well, you wake up, wash your face, and so on. There's a note under the door. It is from the spy assigned you.
Oh, Algrit's spy.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Not heard from in a while.
yeah. So just a reminder: Algrit is a neighboring baron or lord to the east, and not on good terms with Lady Miagral, who rules this area. Um, and um, and so they have spies, that operate for one another. When Brise first arrived here with in the company of several powerful wizards and so on, obviously it was of interest to the neighbor Algrit, and so a spy was assigned to follow Brise around. That spy sort of broke her code and approached Brise directly, and because she wanted very direct answers and felt like she could trust Brise, and so they sort of developed a relationship, trying to satisfy both their powers that be. Um, so the note from her says that with the death of Adabir and the sort of largely the dispersal of his party, with the exception of one apprentice, um, that she's been recalled, and she hopes to meet you under better circumstances. Um,
Why didn't you leave her name and number? I can't.
I know my number is 26. Um,
Exactly. Just say 26 just appears. Like, what?
it's right, yeah. You just write, like you write her a note and you fold it up. You write 26 on it and it just makes it to her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
automatically.
Yeah. My dad, I may have told you the story before. My dad enjoyed playing a game with the U.S. Postal Service in which because our name is relatively unique. Manus was our name originally, of course. I hyphenated when I married, but and so he would just put Manus and our zip code, and he would put an envelope in the mail somewhere, wherever he was in the country, and he would see if it would make it there. And it was infallible.
You never told me that. That's
Yeah,
fascinating. That's
yeah.
funny.
So he started off like just doing like he would sometimes put our city name, and then he would do the zip, and then
Yeah.
he put less and less information testing, but that zip and a last name, and the zip will get it to the right distribution center most of the time, and then your local carriers will go, well, there's only one person of this name on this in this area.
Hmm.
And so, if we were Jones, I'm sure it would have been disastrous. But so yeah, so there's your note.
Nice.
Go out to the common room. Um, Fairly bustling. Um, there's two groups of goblin merchants, and apparently they are both on the road just based on how heavily laden they are. You've got bags on the floor and so on. And your guess is it's just a chance meeting, and they're swapping goods and so on.
Right. Right.
And so it's kind of noisy. They're taking about half the common room. It's got to be 24 of them, and they're eating, and they're these big bellied goblins, and uh, you know you can see over all their heads, but you can't hear yourself think. But there they
I can
are.
I can see over their heads, but I can't see past their stomachs.
That's right. That's right. That's
Well,
uh,
leave them to their business, and I'll see if I can send a note. I guess I'll ask the innkeep, right? See if I can get someone to send a note to Meagral Keep, um, to
for
the
Aldrin.
yeah. So it's to the chief wizard Fraldrum. Is any information you could send any information relevant to what we spoke of, you can send to the Everwell in town for Brise.
So yeah, you just um, wondering about speaking with the eagle, and you just capitalize it like it's a
Right,
code word, right?
right.
Which it is and it isn't, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
fair.
and it's 4 copper, for the service and for tip, and off they he takes it and calls for a boy, and off it runs. Um, 3 copper for breakfast.
This is bleeding me dry. It's been so long. I've stayed at Meagral Keep. I've had like food and and stay for free basically.
Right.
It's not expensive, but it's like I have to go in and subtract a
Yeah,
little.
yeah. It's a more note key. It's not note keeping, guys. I guess it's bean counting.
Right, right. It's like I could just talk to people randomly next to me. I could get this for free. I have to pay for this.
Exactly. Um, you
Anyway,
sort of
so
ask, hopefully, if there are any more notes for you, just hoping,
yeah,
and he tells you no. Um,
I'll probably also ask them if the Eagles have been sighted at all. You mentioned I've heard they were around Meagral's Keep some weeks ago. They've been sighted anywhere else outside of town more recently.
there has been an uptick for the last week or so. You're right about that, sir. Bad business. Bad business. Puts people off their appetite, and that's not good for me. They're
What about the
still
stress
seeing.
eaters, though?
They're still seeing to the west, is what I'm hearing from travelers, and somewhat to the north, but at least they're not bothering the town. And he kind of leans up close to you and says, "I hope I can trust that our conversation about that gentleman you were asking about will remain private."
Um,
Rashla?
right, but my face was disguised.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
Okay,
Never
yeah.
mind.
I
Sorry, I forgot.
was gonna say,
Jeez.
like, how much do my friends look like me?
No, it's your smell.
Yeah,
Um,
anyone can tell who I am. Oh man, I
um,
like that. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, he does not say that. Hopefully, and I'll take off. Take off. So to the west would be, I guess, north and west would both be the mountains, right? Um,
well, I mean, you're in the mountains.
all
There's
right.
no direction that isn't mountains.
Any direction is mountains. I recall taking the western road and ending up in oh, where did I go? That was where I ended up in actually finding the manor, I believe.
Yes. The
Yeah, but I
Western
did get
Road. No, no,
in the
no. Sorry. That's the Eastern Road. That goes deeper into the mountains.
oh east. Okay,
Western Road goes, you're sort of on the edge of the mountains, but you still
right,
have several valleys to go before you're really out of them and into the foothills.
right.
Um, and yeah, so I mean you're basically north. I mean you're northeast of the Vetch right now.
Hmm.
And so a lot of the roads there they just end. You
All
know,
right.
so um, so what would you like to do?
Well, yeah, we'll follow his rumor and go west out of town, and kind of just scan the skies, try to see if we can find any sightings of eagles. I wonder if there's any spells here because I do have my familiar. We should back up also. Nalani would just be on the rooftop, right? Like of the inn,
Yeah.
just chilling out there. Well, I do have Nalani here. Could also do some flying and um, see a little bit further than I can. Um, so yeah, we'll take the road out of town going west and kind of just probably just go see what I come across and see if we can scan the sky for any eagles. Um, I should also I know I was didn't heal any hit points or exhaustion from 2 days ago.
All
So does
right.
last night did I heal up from that or
Your exhaustion is full. How many hit points are you down?
I had 113 out of 185. So that would be down
So
about.
you should be at 165 right now.
All right.
Feeling much better.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
Um,
Oh,
ugh,
horseback too.
right. Oh, it's funny. So you yeah, roll to navigate out of town, which is always a pain in the butt. Balabry is a confusing.
92.
Oh, no problem.
Morning.
Straight out you go. Um, you recognize this road as the one you took to the encampment, um, where Plesh and Falramar and the wagons,
Right. Yeah.
so so um, got an old buddy of mine watching us right now, and he's instructing me to roll your doom. So just FYI, enjoy your
All
doom.
right. Well, you do that all the time, so I'm not.
Sort of redundant, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Um, so
Doom can be a positive thing. That was in the Bible or something. They'll probably say, like, yeah, certain doom of doom.
There's
Positive doom.
this you get these pendants, right? These pedantic people who will tell you that in a tarot group of tarot cards that death doesn't mean death. It means the end of something, like the end of a
Right.
job or right and that sort of thing.
Right.
But these same pendants don't realize that tarot cards aren't used for fortune telling. That was added to them. They were
Uh,
used as a game, and we've lost the rules of that game. And then later, this whole fortune telling thing was added to them completely from whole cloth.
that's fascinating.
Yeah, there's no basis at all for that.
Right.
Um,
Right. Like we
so
can trace back the date historically when people started using them to tell fortune.
right. There's also one of the oldest card games that we know about. Like it uses, I forget some of the symbols that are used. One is can't remember what it's called. It's what you use to hang game from your belt, like pheasants from your
Mm,
belt that you've killed and things like that. And so you'll have like, well, this one has four of those devices. I can't remember what it's called.
mm.
But we don't know how that game is played. But it's one of the earliest card games that we know of, and it's
Yeah.
just I find that maddening. Like I want to know how to play that game so
Right.
bad.
Right.
You know,
Well, you shouldn't be because as a Christmas present, my dad got me Viking chess. It's called, which is a predecessor to chess, actually. And let me tell you, that game sucks. Dad, if you're watching, it's a great present. It's a beautiful game. But yeah, just the rules of it. Like I was playing it with Michelle, and I'm like, okay, I guess I win. Like that wasn't very satisfying, and I felt like I don't know. And I kept there's all these different rules because no one like knows the real rules because
that's funny.
it
And like
wasn't.
when you pried the axe from her chest and said, "I won." Now you're like,
Yeah, Viking chess is just chess in real life. You actually attack people.
right, and it's
It's really
yeah.
hard to play the knight. You have to jump really high.
People complain about some games. The cleanup is the worst part. This one, you've no idea. It's so bad. The police are involved. I mean, it's just awful.
Man,
So yeah, you're traveling out. There's a and across the road in the distance, a female figure emerges um, from the woods. She is green gowned. Um, she walks with a staff that seems very ceremonial. Um, it is silver capped, made of a dark metal, maybe iron, highly carved and ornate. Even from this distance, you see how irregular it is, but in a very precise way. Um, and she kneels on the ground. The gown is, well, okay. It is worth more than anything you've seen Mia Grawl wear.
wow. Okay.
She is human or elven. Um, she places a hand just on the ground. She's clearly in some form of distress. She's about 160 feet away. What would you like to do? So half a football field away, if that helps you. So you
Distress.
attack. I understand. You
Yeah,
attack.
she's down. I was honestly saying if she's going to start casting a spell or something, but I mean, I'll hail her and you know, kind of walk quickly towards her. Is something wrong? Uh,
She turns to you. Well, she is neither elven nor human. Um,
very tall dwarf.
she has small, like budding deer antlers coming through her dark hair. Her eyes are large and solid silver. There are no pupils.
Now I attack.
Freak! No more immigrants. That's our rule here.
Get out of town.
Quit taking our jobs. A la South Park. She turns at the sound of your voice. She sort of holds out her staff weakly as though to fend
I
you
would have
off.
said that in Dax, by the way, thinking she's elf or human. So.
She doesn't respond. She's just supporting herself, and she's on one knee and one hand, and she's holding her staff across her, like trying to bar you as you approach. What do you want in your hands?
Nothing. I show both my hands, and I'll try again in Elven. Is so I don't mean to harm you. Is what's wrong? Is there something I can do to help?
Definitely a look of confusion on her face. She moves her mouth as though speaking, and you hear nothing. Your horse suddenly whinnies and shakes its head. And approaches her, and just she walks up, sort of up to you, toward
Okay.
her. What would you like to do, if anything?
I'll wait. I'll see what happens. Might be trying some way to communicate or something. Does it look like she's wounded in any way, or just like seemingly?
Not of what you can see. She collapses. Now on her back, you can see that there is a black wet mark not through the on the gown, but you can't tell if it's seeping through from a wound
Right.
or something. What would you like to do?
I like Midnight Dawn's suggestion. Unfortunately, I don't have any stabs because I'm only a half magic user. So that's. I wish I could.
Also, being a female, it's difficult.
Yeah. So look closer. Is it indeed like a wound then beneath the gown? I'm kind of leaning.
You want to get within touching distance of her?
I mean, yeah. I'm concerned for this person's safety.
Sure.
For this person, this.
Oh dear God! It's a writhing mass on her back.
Dear God, get it? Writhing mass. Oh gosh.
Yeah. It is a squirming, writhing mass of black ooze.
Okay. Okay. Does it? Obviously, that thing is causing her some pain here. Wonder if there's a way I could. I'm afraid if I try to attack that, though, it might hurt her.
There's nothing like self-immolation or I guess not self-immolation, right? It's like you can't have someone else take your selfie.
Does it look like this black thing on her back? Could I tag my spear and stab at it without missing and actually hurting her? Or that
Dagger would be the more logical
dagger? Okay.
approach.
Yeah.
Um,
Let me try that. Whip out I got a few daggers I could use here. Dagger of a dagger, piercing dagger, which is a go and ignores defensive bonuses from worn and natural armor. So I'll take that out, plus 20 magic, and try to slice at this thing. I'd have to get pretty close.
so are we scraping like a spatula, or are we cutting it like it's a pancake?
Scraping like a spatula.
You just peel it right off.
Okay.
It shivers at the touch of the blade. It just sort of curls and turns gray as you just take off sort of sliver after sliver of it, working your way up,
Yeah.
A little tendril touches your finger, and a voice inside your head says, "Stay your hand."
Um, I continue to cut and speak out loud. Not while you hurt this uh, creature here.
You continue slicing it off. She is free of it. It is unmoving. Its pieces are unmoving on the ground. They continue to turn gray and eventually turn to dust. Her breathing eases. She is still unconscious, lying in the road.
Well, seems like a good place to take a break. I think we'll figure out
I
what
think so too.
to do next.
All righty. Well, guys, yeah, thanks for hanging with us thus far. We're going to stretch our legs, and get something more to drink. We hope you'll hang with us just for a few minutes. And we'll be right back. We're going to use our cool ticker, which I really do love the ticker we got going on here.
It's
So
really ticking me off.
that's right. So give us just a few minutes. We'll be right back with you. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Let's get our good buddy back here too. There he is. And let's kill this little ticker we got going on. Wait. I'll just add a funnier one. There you go. There's our silly one that we
It
do.
becomes a little less funny the 10th time you do it,
Uh
Kevin.
huh. Okay. Well, let's just kill you,
roll,
and then you won't
roll
have
up,
to see it
roll
again.
up some black arrows.
That's right. So we were dealing with a very strange entity who emerged from the woods, injured, um, being attacked, subdued by some strange oozing organism on her back. Brise has just cut that organism off, and um, our entity is still collapsed and unresponsive. All right, Max, what are we doing with our patient here?
I know Brees is not one for first aid. Well, actually, I guess I should see. Is there any like wound like on the back, from this thing, uh, that was left behind?
Um, you have to look down the back of her dress.
Okay.
Um, there's an undershirt there. It seems undamaged. You
Hmm.
look, you pull that back, um, and the porcelain skin of this being is unblemished.
Hmm.
It does occur to you that the damage could, of course, be spiritual.
Right.
As foul as this thing seemed, you did not care for the touch
Right.
um, of its little tendril. Um,
So the next thing is, I wonder how the town of Balladry would react bringing such a creature like this in. Do I have any recognition of what this might be? Some type of nature spirit.
you don't think of the nature spirits that you've heard about being so refined in clothing and so on.
Right.
Um, those touches of civilizations you always think of as eschewed by them.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, obviously, you know, if they don't see who it is, you can take her into town, right?
Right. That's what I was. My next thing is maybe I should just kind of keep her disguised, something, a cloak over her or something.
Right. Now, by the same token, you could just, I mean, you're gonna have to throw her over your shoulder and or throw her over the horse, and then you could just make camp and watch over her.
I was thinking of taking to the temples to see if she needs any kind of healing like that.
Sure, but that's a
That's going in.
similar problem. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no question that, I mean, you know how they're going to react. They're going to react unpredictably.
Right. Right.
And
Okay. Yeah. Then I think it is. We'll wait it out. We'll see if she wakes up on her own and can get a little more info on.
but are you going to leave her on the road?
No, I think we will make camp. Go off the road into the woods, the opposite side from where she emerged.
Well, you could even travel down several, 100 yards,
Yeah.
and just find a spot, in case she's being pursued.
Right.
Um, so you get her loaded on the horse as gently as you can. Takes a while. Um, as long as she's laying face down, she just seems to be a woman in distress. Um, you remove her shoes so they don't fall off with you not knowing. Um, touching the staff reveals no properties inherently to it, which you were very surprised by. You just thought, surely this is going to be something odd.
Right.
Um, but you don't. I don't have. I'm not going to have you make. I'm not going to assume you're going to attempt to consciously attune to it. Okay. So you sort of walk with the staff, lead the horse, and wow, you have great luck in terms of a spacious and comfortable campsite, not visible from the road. Um, um, it's a good ways off, but it's easy travel. Um, you get there and set out the bedroll and make camp and
Yeah, we'll definitely make a fire too. Need
keep her
something
warm.
for yeah, this person.
And you're not quite as far out of town as you'd like to be, but hey, you still have lots of sky to watch, so you
Yeah,
can just sit there.
yeah, and every now and then I'll send Alani up. Do a little scan if she can see any specks on the horizon.
While by the same token, she can scout for any sort of oozing,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she can
unnatural
find anything.
things.
Yeah.
So, um, several hours pass. Erase a meal for lunch, and around that time, you and Nalani about the same time spot an eagle in the distance, a great eagle.
Great, great eagle.
Not directly overhead, pretty far in distance. What would you like to do?
Well, we'll have to wait to see if it kind of comes more eastward. Um, I think,
Well,
yeah,
I
we won't
mean,
be able to really catch its attention this far out.
you could light a branch and wave it in the air. I mean, there are ways of catching
I
its
mean, I
attention.
already got a fire. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, make something really obvious for it to investigate. Okay, yeah, let's do that. No, we'll. Why don't I? I can.
A burning patient, I find always.
Burning. We have a staff right here, a burning staff.
That's right.
I mean, we could also use light, the light spell.
Yeah.
A little safer. But yeah, I could just grab. I'll grab her staff. And we'll. Well, I guess I don't know if it has any magical properties, so we'll just grab a torch and cast light, on the tip of it, and kind of
Okay.
wave it as a little bit of a signal. You know me, I like magic.
There's definitely a sense that it's seen you. It changes course. And after a regular good deal of waving and just you're continually making eye contact with it as much as you
Yeah.
can do, eventually it alights um, on a very sturdy tree, but it's clearly being very cautious.
Okay.
And it lands a full 50 yards away from you and regards you and says nothing. You judge it to be older,
Mm.
and it watches you silently.
I say thank you for heeding my call. I am Brise Ajal, a friend. Well, I know your master Korakyle, and wish um, I wish to make a request of him.
Goodbye, dice.
I hope you know my name in your circles.
My brother has spoken of you. What do you want?
Okay. Well, if you could tell Korakal that there is a man at Miagral Keep named Ishar,
Not a man.
a goblin named Ishar, who would like to arrange a meeting with him. Entered into discuss things. And
My
if you could just
brother,
relay that. Oh, okay.
my brother, if it is possible, despises the goblins more than I do, and he would just as soon drop them from great heights as to speak with them. Why should we possibly entertain this audience?
Um,
Well, it's time to take out a boob. Eagles love human boobs. We just know it.
of course, universally attractive too. Let me, because I'm wondering if I even have to. It's almost good if he drops it, because then I just have to tell Ishar that, well, I tried, and they didn't get back. But then I also know how Ishar operates, right? And I
Yeah.
would want to, at least press on that. Well, I could. I mean, just mention, the demon Kralum, right? He's been banished because of work I've done. I'm I've I'm a person who strives for good, and I think I have. Well, I haven't really helped them, but I've helped the region.
Well, sure. I mean,
I don't know how I could word that, in a way to.
well, I mean, you took away the power of the woman who hurt
Right, that's
Horikyle,
true. That's true. Very
and
okay.
it's you know,
Let me explain. Yeah, let me explain that. Not a long time ago, the sorceress Verilag, you know, assaulted your kind, I believe, and it was me who helped, subdue her and rid her influence in this region. So I feel like I'm deserving of at least the message being delivered to Korokyle.
what does this goblin want?
I believe he only just wishes to speak with. Although I could warn them of a little bit of his intent here. He asks about the Eagles. If he tells me how to secure safety, okay. I tell them I'm not exactly sure, but he is a very intelligent, very crafty man. So I'm assuming he has some ideas about an alliance, maybe.
For the good you have done my people, I will convey the message, but I promise nothing beyond that.
That is fine. This guy is really not too chipper, is he?
He's not the warmest of them. I mean, there really is a sense of mistrust of you, and I mean, yeah.
Um, thank you. And while you're here, I point at the antlered woman resting by the fire. Do you know of this creature? I found her, struggling against something and wish to help her. Um, I
Others of my clan have described such beings to me. This is the first one I have seen.
okay.
They appear to pop into the valleys in unknown ways.
Hmm.
They're never here long.
So they talked through the valley.
Do they what?
Did they talk through the valley or talk into the valley? What was that?
They sort of appear in the valleys where they pop
Oh, I
in.
see.
Hey,
Oh,
like
pop.
there's not really a sense of how they come and go, and
Right.
um, he alights and just with this enormous beating of wings, I mean, just lands right before you, and you're like, he's even bigger than Korokal.
Mm.
And there is a sense of like, um, he does not radiate kindness. Um, he is a serious character.
He's actually a vulture in disguise.
That's it. Ha ha! You fool!
He's bald.
He.
How does I'm curious. How does Nalani react to all this? Just glancing at her,
Oh, you can tell she's a bit nervous.
Right.
She took to your shoulder when he landed. Now that he is, I mean, you can't quite reach him with a spear, but now she's further off. She's on a
Mhm.
branch. Like, that's all y'all. You guys just
Yeah.
enjoy your conversation. That's fantastic.
I thought she might like bow her head or start talking to him and like, oh yeah, Fred,
That's funny.
nice to see you again. I guess she's a falcon, so not similar.
He eyes her carefully. He turns to you and says, "You've done a good thing here. Clearly, a creature of the light, to whatever degree any of us can be." What was she struggling with?
Describe it as best I can. This black mass that when I attacked it, it fell away and turned to dust, and also spoke, through the mind when I made contact with it.
These two have been seen in the valleys,
Hmm.
on deer, trees, even the great tree folk that still walk the high peaks. They are of undescribable evil, but fortunately easily dealt with.
Hmm.
You have done a good thing here. And he turns, walks a few strides, and then launches himself into the air.
All right, that's good.
And you just bring him down with a bow shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say as he's leaving, he just drops a huge turd right on eagle sized. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Got that done. I will relay that to Ishar when I can. For now, though, I'll wait a little while. By this creature here. I would say I don't really have anywhere to be, so it's not a big deal. Just to wait, and it'd be great if she can wake up and ask some questions. So
If her hand were to happen to fall into the fire, I'm sure she would wake up.
yeah. I mean, I say, Brise will wait, as long as possible, try to occupy herself. But if she can't resist, maybe she will give her a little shake, a little nudge. she, hey, you awake?
So now it's mid-afternoon. You find yourself surprised that you're just not impatient to get on with the day.
Yeah.
You're just sort of enjoying being outside and not, it must be the post Verlag,
Oh, right. Right.
decline, right? You're just,
Feels like vacation.
yeah. Um, so you just enjoy the fire and you check on her every now and then. Um, Um, toward evening, she stirs, rolls in turns in her bedroll, pulls the blanket to her face, and then kind of sits up. Um, looks around, sees you, look of recognition, and then looks where you've placed her staff and looks at you, sort of alarmed. What would you like to do?
You know what I'm gonna try? Actually, I'm going to try to do speak with animals, and curious if that will cause anything to happen. So, right, I just cast it, and I can speak with any creature, any animal, if it's considered an animal, right?
Right. If the spell will work, it'll work. Right. I
Okay.
mean,
So on
right.
the island, pull up my nature's law tome, and we'll give that a try. Level 6 spell.
She continues to glance at you and glance at the staff. She sits up in bed when you take out the tome. All right. Roll it up.
42.
Not a great casting, but it'll do. 8 exhaustion.
And I'll say, can you understand me?
Hard.
Okay, well that's some progress. Um,
She points to the staff. Door.
no, that's a staff.
Is this woman splaining? When
I
another woman.
I uh, go. I get up and hand her. Go put my hand on the staff to bring it to her. And I say, are you hurt? Are you still hurt?
She looks at you confused.
Man, these things don't. It reminds me of like the Flower Children, where it's more of like an emotional, mental kind of link instead of. Um, well, um, I mean, I'll just go and hand her the staff. Then I can't think of another way I can kind of communicate. And I'll say, where did you come from?
She looks at you confused and then seems to examine you. And she says something. Um, something about eye above, eye below. But she's clearly looking at you and like making a comment about you.
Hmm. She.
She reaches into a pouch at her belt, takes it out, and takes out um, just a quill. And she clears the ground
Hmm.
and she writes something in a strange series of characters. Not recognizable, doesn't even resemble anything you've seen.
Okay, I'll take out my spectacles of sophistication and look at them a little. Look at them
As she,
through that.
as she turns the earth so you can read it from your side, she whispers, no, I'm kidding. That's right.
And when she writes in the ground with the quill, like just like normal, like making marks in the dirt, right? Not like
Yes.
magical writing. Okay.
No. She says, the writing on the thing says, a great dark power watches you. Did you know?
And, shake my head. Hopefully that conveys.
No, that's, well, I mean, you could do it. It's
Maybe
not
that
gonna
means yes in her language. She's like, oh, good. Yeah. I
shake your head. And she's like, ice cream prices? I don't even know why you bring that up.
high taxes. What? Um, I
A lint bridge? I don't even know what that is.
I say more. What? Kind of look at her confused as well, maybe to get her to write some more.
She, scrubs off what she, right.
I always like these interactions. These are fun.
She writes, a great clawed being filled with hate.
Great. What was the second word?
Clawed.
CLOD. Claude.
No, no,
Claude. Like
not that.
Claude. Like, oh, Claude.
I'm the great clawed being.
Right. I'm like, what?
And now I'm filled with
Maybe,
hate.
like I was thinking of like horses, right? The Claude. I don't know. There's some other word. Okay. Claude. Great Claude. Or she's talking about Crowlum, or
There's no question she's talking about Crowlum.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Wow, that's unfortunate. I roll my eyes. Oh,
You put up your cloak.
you can't see me now.
You close your eyes. Hee hee.
I I tell her thank you, and I know. Well, now I know. um, I'd say aloud, like, "Will you be okay?"
She tries to discern what you're saying, and then she writes, am I free to go?
Well, when you put it that way, I say yes. Um, and again, hand her staff again as a gesture.
She rises. She feels along her back. She kneels and writes in the dirt. Where is the spine drinker?
I say dead. Killed him.
She seems very surprised. She erases and writes.
I'll for emphasis too. I'll kind of pull out the knife, and show what I used to kill. It's just a simple dagger. I guess did have magic on it, but
Yeah, that's not a simple. That's 1,000 gold daggers. What that
yeah, never
is.
mind. Okay, then I don't show that. Probably wouldn't be helpful.
I mean, you offer it to her. You could ask for something. You could maybe strike a bargain if there's any interest in that new.
I like that dagger. I was just trying to indicate, yeah, like this, I killed it with this, but it's
Right.
not helpful.
She writes, "Thank you. You have done us a great service." She
Okay.
sort of considers her, like she sort of searches through her pouches and so on. Um, she takes off a ring, has a large indigo gem in the center, surrounded by smaller clear gems. She bows very low, her chin on the ground, and places the ring at your feet.
Okay. Well, I
Kick
will,
her?
yeah, and take the ring. I will graciously accept the ring and um, nod in thanks.
She rises, at least to a crouch position, erases. She writes, "It will protect you and mark you as a friend of the court."
Friend of the COURT.
CLOD.
I almost started writing. I was like, I'm a
So,
friend among the clods.
my dad was a biology teacher, and he would lecture, and he insisted that the students would take notes, but he insisted that they listen, right? They don't just go. So what he would do is he would be lecturing, and then he would slip into, and that's why princesses always wear pink. He would just go, make nonsense up, and then people would keep writing. He's like, guys, and they would, oh my god, they would have to erase notes,
Yeah.
and he's like, you have to listen. You have to really take
Mhm.
this information in. And so I enjoyed doing that. No, your
Tell
court
you, it
as in
shows.
a royal court.
Right, that's what I thought. Yeah,
So
it just shows how dedicated I am to my note taking and kind of get it right.
um, it is plus 30 RR. Sorry, plus 30 ruined to resisting poison. Plus 30 ruined to perception.
Oh,
Absorbs 30 damage from poison each day.
that's a pretty gracious gift. Wow. I will. Yeah, nod deeply in thanks, um, and yeah, just wait for her if she leaves or has more to say.
She does write, I must take leave of you now. Again, thank you.
Given given thanks enough, my friend.
She walks to the edge of the trees. She takes the staff and strikes it into the ground and really kind of works it into the ground.
Mm.
It grows
Ooh,
into a small tree,
nice.
about 15 feet high. And then she climbs the tree, disappears in its boughs. The tree shrinks and disappears.
Wow. Yeah, cool. Wow. Well, that was an interesting encounter and got a really nice ring out of it too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'll definitely slip that on and start perceiving things better.
That's right. I would keep in mind that it is, I mean, just at a glance, it's extremely valuable.
Right.
So just remind yourself, um, you
Wearing
know,
that.
right.
Basically, I'm flaunting, yeah, a lot of wealth by wearing that.
Yeah. So, you might have to put a glove on or something. I mean, which has other complications, but I mean, just when you're in town,
Right.
that's
Right.
the main thing.
Yeah.
So you can keep it in a pocket and reach in when you need it, you know.
That's a good
Uh,
idea. We'll wear it when I'm in the wilderness, but if I go into civilized areas, I'll make sure to pocket it.
right. Just cover it in mud. Just have a coal cap for it. Just put it on
Yeah,
there.
exactly. There we go.
Yeah. So it seems like a pretty good place to stop.
Sure,
Uh,
yeah. That was pretty
so
cool.
we're definitely mid evening now. Um, why don't you go ahead and erase a meal, and we'll just go ahead and have that done.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, well, there you go. Episode 78, guys, in the books. We hope you enjoyed it. I think we had a pretty good time, despite a few connection problems. So we'll be back a week from Thursdays. That's right, right? I'm not this Thursday, but a week from Thursday.
Yes. So it would be the 2nd,
Right.
February.
Yeah. So we'll get some more dates posted up. February may be a slightly disrupted one, but we'll still have some good episodes on there, I'm certain. So, if you think we're doing a good job, hey, hop to Donor Box, send us some love. If you want to see more and hear more of Max, and please check out his YouTube channel there, and you can see the short link for it there, where he discusses the role of video game music and arrangements in video games. Thanks as always to Elliot Dunovitz for their terrific character art that we use every episode for Brise. You can find more of their work at artstation.com/Tortolua. And I've written a novel that I'm pretty proud of called A Shore Too Far. So check that out on Amazon and leave me some loving reviews. Or you know what? Leave me honest reviews. I'd much rather have those than just obsequious ones. But thanks as always. We had a really good time, and I hope you did too. Max, say goodbye to the lovely people.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming out. It was a fun, interesting session, and we'll see what happens next week.
That's right. We will see you on February 2nd. Thank you, guys.